Good afternoon. Good first day of install. A lot of new stuff today for the players, but I thought it went pretty well for the first day. Questions?
You talked about expanding Canarian's role, into the offense. Is that still the plan going forward?
It is. I think last year he didn't really play much at wide receiver, so he's gonna be he'll be our kick returner, he'll be our punt returner, and he'll be heavily involved in the offense. So he's a guy when he touches the ball can make big plays. So it's our responsibility as coaches to make sure he touches it.
Kyle, we've heard a lot about the Seahawks playing at that stadium and how loud it gets. Do you have any feel for if it's that loud when Washington State plays there? I know they played there a couple of years.
I don't have a great feel for it, but it's something we'll prepare for. Every week when we go on the road, we don't ever take that for granted. And as we get into the true game week, we'll have the crowd noise on, and we'll do a couple periods a day to make sure that we're ready to function with the noise.
Kyle, have you ever met Mike Leach?
I did meet him. I met him briefly at an event this year. I just had a chance to say hello. That was about it. But I know about him, I know of him, and have admired his work for a long time. He's a very well-accomplished coach.
Anyone on your staff ever coach against him?
Against Mike? I don't think so. I'd have to ask Ralph, but I think it probably would have come up. I don't think so.
What are your impressions so far on film of what you've seen from Washington State?
Oh, they got a good football team. I mean, their skill on offense is excellent. They got a quarterback who can make all the throws. I think it's his third year now in Mike's system, and when you look at quarterbacks who've been able to spend multiple years with Mike Leach, the numbers are prolific, with what they've been able to do. And on defense, they're aggressive. They're big and physical up front. They run to the ball well. So it's a great challenge for us.
I think they bring back their top 4 receivers too. Is that clear on film that those guys have a established chemistry?
It is. And I worked in an offense like this for 5 years. It's not identical to what Mike does, but it's a 4 wide receiver style of offense. And the longer those guys stay together, it's almost like the rhythm of playing on a basketball team with the same people for a long time. There's a rhythm to what they do, and I think they have that.
Well, they had more pass attempts than any team in the country. Do you have to keep them honest defensively against the run, or do they generally?
I think you have to. I think you have to be sound. I think you have to be sound against the formations they line up in, against the run. But their offense is designed to throw the football, and they're going to throw it. When you see them play, even situations that are traditional run situations, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, are no more than 50-50 run pass for them. So you have to be sound against what they do from a gap perspective against the run. But when you play these kind of teams, you better be ready to defend the pass.
Do you look at anything from last year, how much this secondary in this group needed to improve off of that to come into a game like this?
You mean look at our stuff from last year? We've done that. We've looked at our games from last year. We've done all the self-scout and the quality control. And then as we get into spring practice, we start to move forward. And you look at our secondary today, the way we lined up at times, you had Justin Goodwin, Dre Boggs, and DeLon Stevenson in the game at the same time with Lorenzo. So we've got some different people out there too. So, we've already done the quality control. We're well past that point now. Now we're trying to make sure we put the players who are on the field in the best position.
What percentage do you think you're in your base defense against these guys? Just ballpark, I'm not looking to break the game plan down versus sub packages.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to talk about that, but we're going to play part of the game in base. We're going to play some of the game in nickel. We're going to play some of the game in dime. So we'll have multiple personnel groups on defense that we'll utilize.
What have you seen out of Nadir Barnwell this summer?
I think Nadir's getting better. I think Nadir's getting better, and that's what we ask of him. So, when you go into your second year, you would hope that from a fundamental standpoint, you're improving. From a scheme standpoint, understanding how you fit within the defense, you're improving it, and I think he is. And I think we've still got about 8 days left to make sure we continue to improve.
I know for the most part, kind of the system is the system, but how much has Joe put his imprint on the defense?
I think the personality of Joe Rossi is very aggressive, and I think you'll see that with the players. I see an aggression with them, and the system is the system. Our system of defense is not going to change, and when played effectively, we feel like we can match up against any offense in the country. But I think Joe's aggressiveness and that part of his personality has probably come out more than anything.
And he's kind of come along the same tree as Rob Smith. Rob was on your staff before. Do you see similarities between those two?
Between Rob and Joe? No, I think they're different personalities. I think they're definitely different personalities. They came through the same system and both, through Maine as younger coaches and both working with and under Bob Frazier at different times. So I think philosophically there's probably a lot of similarities, but personality-wise they're different.
Kyle, your comfort level with Federico right now? I know he was good in the beginning and then struggled a little bit with his camp and your comfort level with him.
I thought other than the first full scrimmage, he's had a good camp. I've been pleased. That one day I wasn't pleased, and I think I said that, but I was pleased in the second scrimmage. I've been pleased this week in practice. I think he's done a good job. I'm very comfortable.
Got time for 2 more?
You had the pretty similar trip last year. Did you learn anything from that you take into this year, maybe preparation-wise?
Well, we weren't pleased with the result, but we were pleased with the energy we played with. So from a timing standpoint, we're going to time it up just about the same way. We'll go out 2 days early. We'll get out there around dinner time, and we've got a routine that kind of gets us acclimated to what we're doing out there. And talking to the players afterwards, we didn't feel like any of that result was based on us not handling the trip the right way. So we're pleased with how we handled the trip. Now we just got to make sure we score 2 more points.
How about their defense, Kyle? I think they have returned a lot of guys on the defensive line. Anything you see there?
Yeah, big and physical. That's the one thing that jumped out to me. Before turning on the film, I didn't know if that's what I would see, not having a familiarity with that conference, really, other than seeing them on TV. So I think they've got, they're a 3-4 personnel. They play some 4-3 concepts, but they're really 3-4 personnel when you look at them. And those 3 linemen are big, thick, strong guys, and they run to the ball well.
Thanks.
Thank you.